So first off, Tim, obviously I know after your last fight you really want to get on this card. Getting on it, almost here. Thoughts on just the whole thing?
Yeah, I really wanted on the card as soon as I seen UFC was coming to Rancho, but with our boys and Pete Mateo Sandoval passing away in January, it was even more of a want and need, if you will. You know, dedicated the fight to my community and to the family. Sandoval Strong and Mr. Armendariz, who was involved in the wreck, and Ernie and Lexi Sandoval, the boys' mom and dad, our football team. So, and just with that being said, with emotions riding high and aggression, I couldn't be more than happy to have a fist fight inside come Saturday night. I'm going to defend my family and my state violently.
Is this one?
I was going to say, obviously tragedy, man, and I know you're very tight-knit in that community, football coach, and I mean, what have you, I mean, now that you could use this platform to do that, like, what else are you doing? I heard you're like giving away tickets. I mean, are you really trying to get this community together, you know?
Yeah, we've given away tickets. I think I bought like 30 tickets, you know, so I want my people there, whether they can afford it or not. You know, the ones that couldn't afford it reached out to me, and we did the best we could on getting everyone tickets and what we could do with that. Right now, as of this week, I haven't been worried about tickets or anything at all. You know, they had to get a hold of us a couple weeks ago. Right now, it's just the weight cut and seeing interviews or whatever where they're talking about this is Daniel's adopted state and stuff because he trains at Cerrone's camp or whatever. It's the right time to get in a fist fight.
Is this one even more emotionally heightened with all those outside circumstances than normal?
None of my other fights matter. This is the most important fight of my life right now. This is the most excited and pumped up I've been for a fight, and there's just some real aggression riding on it. Has nothing to do with Daniel or nothing like that, just personal life things. Calm, cool, and collected. Can't fight mad, but you can fight very mean, so we're going to go that route.
Yeah, if you could you just like give like kind of a tribute to what kind of young men they were, you know what I'm saying?
So I didn't dedicate this just to who the boys, just because the boys passed away. I dedicated it to their work ethic and their character, and these were two young men that they would see a student in the hallway, not even know that student, walk up, put their arms around him and say, hey man, life's going to get better, you know, keep your head up. And it spoke volumes, their passion, their dedication, their work ethic. And knowing them boys for the time that I got to know them and the way their mom and dad were, the values they instilled in those young men, if I can take just a piece of that formula and instill that in my children, you know, my children will go a long ways. And this is a dedication of not to remember them when they were living, but to just remember their work ethic and everything that they did for themselves and the community, and their saying of get better today is living on.
The chance for you to string some stuff together here for the first time really in a few years, right? So can you talk a little bit about the fight itself and kind of the importance for you in terms of your career trajectory of being able to put a little bit of a streak together here? Yeah,
that's been kind of the thing, just piecing things together. And the things I've been leaving out has been my wrestling and my grappling. You know, I can do all of that. My last 3 fights, I've gotten to show exactly that. Takedowns against Nico Price, let that fight get away from me. Rick Rainey, I took him down and beat him up from top position, submitted Thiago Alves. So right now, Coach JJ just has us being ferocious on takedowns and not stop moving and scrambling drills and these things, to where when I did start this, I was just a wrestler. I could throw a left hand to a double leg, and I got away from those things. So right now, it's being the best well-mixed martial arts that I can be, shooting as many times as I can in a round when we're sparring and stuff. And just since this week started, I don't know how many takedowns I've shot, but it's definitely more than 100. So right now, if we're doing those things in practice, those things will come out in the fight. And right now, I just want to mix it up. I think the commentator was saying in my last fight that I was shooting because I was uncomfortable. I was shooting just to mix it up and give a different look, you know, and it panned out and it worked out for me. So if I want to box and kickbox, I need to go to those shows. And 2 years ago, I told myself that I can't just make guys shoot on me. I need to shoot on them, and I'm trying to do the best I can with that. With the Belal Muhammad and Sergio Moraes fights, I lost those split decisions. I thought I won. Heck, I remember getting to Australia on a Thursday, waiting Friday, fought Saturday, so that little bit of recovery was a little hard or whatever, but no excuses there. Belal's a good fighter or whatever, but on any of those guys, Moraes, I absolutely won that fight, so I got paid like I won, so we'll just move on with that. But eventually I'll see some of these guys I have lost to and kind of get some of those things back, but right now it's Daniel Rodriguez, and right now it is putting an exclamation mark on this fight Saturday night.
Tim,
With a little bit of late opponent change, did that throw things off, or?
No.
I mean, what was the situation there? And they're saying that they never had signed for the fight to begin with?
Yeah, I guess they said they never even got the notice or whatever, but I got a bout agreement, his name on it, and I went about my business. Right after that, we got the late notice change, or the fact that he pulled out and it took a while to get a replacement fighter or whatever, but with these up-and-comers coming in, they're dangerous, and they want to put their foot in the door and all that, but, you know, I still have things I got to prove, and I still have that hunger and that fire burning, and hell, I just want to get in fights, so.
How are you feeling
Confidence.
right now with the close proximity from your last fight?
How am I feeling?
Yeah, in terms of the quick turnaround.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I don't want to sit on the shelf for no year. You know what I mean? There's people that want to sit and say that they only get better in the gym. You don't know if you're getting better. You're only doing that in the gym. It's completely different on fight night under the lights. You don't know if you got better if you're not consistently being under the lights, in front of the cameras, in front of fans. You don't know if you're better. You might think you're better in practice because you're getting comfortable in practice, but it's a different animal on fight night, so I want to stay as busy as possible.
Can you talk about the preparation differences? Because we're talking about totally different styles. You know, somebody from a Sambo background and who you're facing now has 6 KOs, TKOs. It's almost a completely different way of going about it.
Yeah, minus being left-handed, they look kind of like the same guy to me. You know, they throw big shots on their feet, and they want to get the tie up and get the fight to the ground. And some of in the Dana White Contender Series I saw with Rodriguez, it's how he fought: leg kicks, chopping leg kicks, but finish those rounds with takedowns. So they look to be the same guy to me, maybe a little bit difference in height and a different stance.
Obviously, had to battle some adversity, not only just with the community, but also your career. And just talk about the confidence level. You talked about being a full mixed martial artist. How confident are you feeling just with everything going in?
Things are falling into place. I feel good. I'm healthy. Weight's coming off. You know, I feel good mentally. My family's healthy. We had this not a small tragedy with the boys, but the fact of the positive that came from that, the community coming together, people stepping up and helping one another. It sucks that there has to be a tragedy for that to happen. It seems like everybody wants to only do good when we're at a funeral, you know what I mean? But people have stayed together. We're getting to these basketball games, watching the boys play basketball, and, you know, just cheering everybody on. I couldn't be more happy. I'm usually pissed off at my community because I don't think we do enough for our youth and things like that. And I've said it many times in our interviews together. But in this instance, the community stepped up, got together. Brenda's account raised $40-some thousand for the funeral and stuff. And not just that, but we also looked after the man that they hit, Mr. Armendariz. 3 years ago, he had a daughter die in a car wreck. She was on my niece's softball team. So we came together, we locked arms up together, and, you know, I'm gonna do my best to get a win for my community, my state, my team, my people.
All right. Thanks, Tim.